Welcome to the Salty Driftwood Podcast. I'm your host, Eugene Gibson, and today's episode is titled In Search of Money, a continuous personal journey. I hope everybody under the sound of my voice is doing well, and if you aren't, I pray and hope that you do well soon. Before I begin, this really is just an account of what has happened to me or the journey I've been on for the last couple of years. It really isn't in true chronological order, so I asked you to bear with me. So about 16 years ago, I read a book which was like a hot bestseller at the time called Freakonomics by University of Chicago economist Stephen Levitt and New York Times journalist Stephen J. Dubner. The gist of it is it had an interesting twist on economics, comedic as well as interesting twist. And from it, I learned a lot of things. Some of them, I guess, you could question it, what they saying. But the main underlying theme for me was that for the most part, the things we think we know, we really don't know. And the facts we think are true, ain't really that true. That's what they really want. Or that's the narrative that is shaped around the truth. And one of the most important things I learned, that numbers could be manipulated to say anything. Numbers and statistics could be manipulated to say anything someone wants it to say or wants you to believe. So the underlying question for me, when I came from out of reading that book, when I finished reading that book, was, what is money? You know, we think we know what money is because we basically use it every day. It's there for us, and it becomes basically just like a necessity, a part of life. But we sort of see it every day in that, through notes and coins and all of that. But the question to me, what is money? Why we doing what we doing with this thing? What is money? Like I say, this may not perhaps be in true chronological order, but the first place I started was the Bible, based on my spiritual leanings in the more Judeo-Christian realm. And I read some scriptures, all of the good stuff, and from the gist of it, I sort of realized this ain't really telling me what money is. It more or less telling me what my divine attitude should be towards money, and some of the true negative effects of what this attitude can present itself. So I say, okay, fine, that's understood, and I accept that. So I moved on. So I say, since the book Freakonomics was written by economists, let me go down the old, traditional route, or the more intellectual route. So I divulged a little bit into the Milton Friedman versus John Keynes concept. The two economists who had opposing views of what the economy is based on. And I don't know whether it's prejudice more from reading Freakonomics, but I began to realize that economics ain't really a financial type of study. That's more like a behavioral type of study. So I sort of like, yeah, okay. And then, I just get a cursory knowledge of what was going on, but it still really didn't answer my question. Then after do some more research, I came to discover that money and currency are actually two different things. And then I started to learn more about fiat currency, what that means. And, I don't know if it really is a misconception, but I think plenty of people don't understand what fiat currency is, what currency was originally based on before fiat currency, like the gold standard. Some of you may know of the gold standard and all of that, and what it is actually turned into now. So that sort of like opened up to my eyes. Now, hold on, now what's going on? Yeah, I always heard about it, but not really went in too much depth into it. So I say, you know what? Let me go on a more political ideology search. Capitalism versus socialism. That comparison. And after going through it, I established with my own theory that comparing capitalism to socialism is like comparing peaches to apricots. While they may be from the same species, they ain't really the same thing. I deduced that, and this is just my deduction, is that socialism, more or less, like I probably said before in my other podcast, is more or less describing a political, economic, and social system, where capitalism really describing economic system that we've morphed into a political and social system. I really don't know if that's the correct thing to do. Not in my opinion, it's not the correct thing to do. So comparing them to, really, still comparing them to me is and just saying I don't think it's the right thing. But on my quest for money, it still ain't really answering to me what money is. So keep on going. Like we say over here, keep on going. So eventually I came across some Bank of England articles and videos, and then they began to talk about the creation of money in this modern economy. Now, this was like the first real concrete knowledge of what I was searching for what money is. I still wasn't, real sure, but more or less more concrete. Then I start going down them rabbit holes, you start learning about fractional reserve banking and quantitative easing and really and truly what credit is and its place in the money supply system was which was kind of an eye opener for me. And but it was more like sort of lay the foundation now, more concrete foundation for the knowledge I was seeking. And at the same time, on the sidebar, I became interested in like blockchain technology. I always heard about like stuff like Bitcoin and all of that, but never really, take too fancy to it. But I had more time, so I decided to see, with the craze going on with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, really to see what it was, and that led me into divulging into some knowledge about blockchain technology, and I got a pretty good handle on that. And cryptocurrency in itself was really part of the search, became part of the search too. And I sort of like clarified in my mind what's really was going on with that. And that sort of further enforced some other ideas I began to develop, what was in my mind about what money is. Some more research, reading some more articles, listening to some audio books. Now, a little side note, being a purist, a purist reader, I should say, I really didn't like audiobooks. But over the years, from doing most of my reading online or purchasing digital books, reading from my phone and my laptop, the eyesight, old boy eyesight ain't really too good no more. So I tend to lean a little more nowadays on audiobooks, which I find, kind of interesting, because I grew up on radio. So when the audio books present in a certain way, I tend to enjoy them, especially like some of the classics. When I hear them on audiobooks with the characterization and all of that, the voice characterization, all that, I really like them. I really subscribe to them now. But before I really wasn't, hey, you got to read a book. But, times change. Actually, nature changed that view for me. So now at this point, I came across, from a suggestion from a Facebook friend, a book called The Essence of Money. And what it is a compilation of writings in the forms of letter that a German banker in the 1920s or so named Alfred Landsberg. He was also a publicist. And what he did, he was trying to explain the monetary system. And what he did it, I think the what it is, letters from a banker to his son. And what he did in the form of him writing letters to his son. In reality, now, they weren't really letters to his son, but that's the way he presented the writings. And as of today, from what I understand, uh, Landsberg's writings have been cited by many economists and on many different papers and things of that nature. And yeah, like I say, he wrote it in the style with letters to his son, which apparently seemed to be in like a style back then, like in the 1900s, because there was another one called like Letters from a Self-Made Merchant to His Son, which was written by John Graham who really was George Harris Lammer. The pseudonym was John Graham, I guess. And the same way with Alfred Landsberg, he used he called himself Argentarius, which I think means banker in German. The only thing is about the whole thing, I like to sort of verify what I read in before. And a lot of Landsberg from The Essence of Money, a lot of stuff in German. So I depended on a copy I got from off Amazon, which only really was like the first couple of pages. And like I say now, because I get an audiobooks, I saw some more copies of it from a commentator. I can't remember what his name, but he's drifting more towards Bitcoin. But he was reading, he's reading his presentation of some of the letters. I guess the letter format sort of like nowadays with the open letters that people have written to celebrities and athletes, which sort of gone viral. So it's sort of like in that style. But anyway, with all that being said, a lot of side note. From the book, this is the gist of it, what I've got so far, because it's 2 books and I only getting through one. But to me, this seems to be the most concrete establishment of what money is. Right? Something I learned, with all that journey, I learned one thing. Money is just a concept. Money abstract. Currency is what we actually see, the dollars and coins. But money is an abstract concept. Just the same way as love. Just the same way love is misunderstood, so is money. The same way money could be kind or cruel, it's the same way. But it's an abstract concept. And Landsberg sort of put it in a concrete manner in saying that what it really is, and I'll say this because it's based more on a capitalist system, which people might want to admit it. Everybody's a capitalist now. I don't care what you say. You need that. That's how it is run. So based on the capitalist system, money is a right or consideration for goods and services that we just exchange between one another. Based on, I add this part, based on our place in the means of production, producing stuff. We get paid. We get paid money, but it really is a right and consideration for goods and services that all we doing is just exchanging from one another. And he goes on to explain, talk about things like inflation and stuff like that, which was really quite interesting. I'd suggest you probably read a copy of it. But I say that to say all this. At this point now, it becoming more concrete of what money is. My advice to most people is try understand what money is. And through all this, what eventually happened was I began to have an appreciation for money, because now I sort of like understanding what it actually is. And I, not just an appreciation, but putting it in its proper place. First of all, it's an abstract idea. Ain't nothing much you could do but that. So anyone could say what they want from the understanding. Even before I read the letters of the banker to the son, the difference between money and currency is that money, they've stated money is a concept. Currency is what we call the coins and paper. Then you have another thing called credit, which nowadays basically just established by a click of the button. That's a different story. But that was my journey so far up to this point. So with all that being said, like, you may ask, like, where are you going with this? Like I say, this is a continuous journey. So I just wanted to share with you what I've known so far, because I believe it can be a continuous journey. Because when you're chasing after abstract things, they ain't gonna ever stop. But just like how Landsberg explained it, Money that's circulating. That's all. Basically, that's the function. The main function of money is to circulate. Now, sometimes it may circulate in one direction, but in order for this economic system to survive, any economic system, if you considered money as what he described it, it have to circulate. That's the only way that it will survive. We've created this abstract idea from possibly thousands and thousands of years ago. Now that's how it is. He explains some other things like how the government think because they could print money, they have control over the money, and he goes on with a different direction with that, which is very quite interesting and has a very plausibility. Yeah, that's something totally different. But this is my suggestion to those of you who might be listening. For instance, put away the concept in your mind which you have of money. If you already have even if you have a concrete idea, put it away for a second, because the way time changed, it seems if something abstract like that, the way time changed, money probably changed, and you may have a concrete abstract from like 20, 30 years ago, and that ain't the case no more. So take the time out to try, study and research what money is. I'm not talking about what money does or what the physical signs of money look like, but what is money? Because that led me on this journey. And it not only with that, it also caused me to like ask questions on spirituality, like who are we? That'll always be a constant journey till you die. But the interesting thing about this journey is, I think that is like the ascent of knowledge. The more you become curious, the more you ask questions. And people say, oh, you don't question things. But when you really think about it, a lot of things we think we know, we really don't know. We really don't know. And the facts that we think are facts aren't facts. I mean, they've been known for years not to be facts. But because we accept them as facts, we take them as facts. But in reality, they aren't facts. They just perceptions or ideas or something. And it even worse now. We could see it now with social media. Anyone could put something on social media nowadays and it's fact, and someone got to check it and blah, 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 and science and whatever. So even worse now. We really don't have no establishment of facts and truth. And then it sort of moved to another concept, another abstract concept. I guess I wouldn't say abstract concept, but it sort of puts some abstractness to what is truth. Is truth really relative? Well, that's a different story. I guess that's how my mind is work. But like I say, my suggestion to you is, if you're interested, take that journey. Put away all those preconceived notions you have and do some research. And you would not only probably gain some knowledge, but it'd be quite an interesting journey, and might even have some fun along the way. Who knows? But for me, that journey helped me a lot understanding what money is, and like I say, have appreciation for it and the way putting it in its proper position and base in my life, I should say. I wish I had learned that when I was like 17, 18, but hey, never too late to learn something. But in all fairness, 17, 18 money was the least of my worries. Growing up as a teenager, especially in this country. And also, like I said, it's a continuous journey, because, I mean, the like the book say, it's a certain essence, but a lot of things around the essence has changed, and you should be quite aware of them, and you should keep up to it. So for me, this probably be a continuous journey, I guess. The same thing is basically almost like the spiritual journey, which will go on until, for me, at least until I move on to that other realm, they like to say. And with that, I'll end. And like I always say, be good, be real, and have a good one.